Uh, okay, guys, so now let's just look at one concept under organic chemistry. So, under organic chemistry, there is a concept of chirality. This is pronounced as chirality. So, this is where they just this is where we determine whether the structure is chiral or not chiral. So, let me just write for you the word chiral. So, chiral, we just remove the so chiral is written like this, not chiral. We pronounce this as chiral. So when the structure is chiral, it means that one of its carbon is surrounded by different atoms or different structures. It means that it is having different structures around it. You know that oftenly, especially on organic chemistry, carbon is usually surrounded by four bonds, right? Now, when these four bonds are having different structures, it may or it, the for each bond of the four bonds is having different structures and atoms, it will mean that it is chiral. If it is not, it will mean that it is not chiral. Okay. So the carbon has to be surrounded by different, one of the carbons, actually not all the carbons, but just one of the carbons has to be surrounded by different atoms or structures. Let me show you an example. Okay, so here is an example structure. I know the structure is ugly, but I want you to focus on the concept, okay? So let's say this is the structure here, and you want to determine whether it is chiral or not chiral. So you're going to begin with the first carbon. You're going to see that the first carbon, which is this one here, this one, okay? So that one there, it is surrounded by four things, right? So the three things, we know that it is these three hydrogens, right? The three things. These three things are attached to the three bonds, right? And what is the fourth thing? The fourth thing is this one here, which is having two carbons, and this is ethyl, right? An ethyl group. Now, for the fact that this first carbon is surrounded by three things which are similar, which is the hydrogens, we are going to just skip this one until we find until we find if there is any carbon that is surrounded by different things. Okay, so let's do this. So we're going to go on the next one. Even this one here, it is surrounded by two similar things, unless maybe this hydrogen here wasn't there. Okay, let's say for instance, now still again it is also surrounded by these two. I'm talking about the middle carbon. It's surrounded by this one. These are methyl groups, right? Methyls. So, and they are similar. So we can't still say that it is chiral. Okay. And when we come to this one, it is also surrounded by these hydrogens. So so the whole structure is not chiral because it is not having any carbon that is surrounded by four different things. So let me just go through the tutorial sheet question which they brought. They asked about the chirality. Okay, so let me first go to the question. Okay, so we have a question here, question 3. And for you who have subscribed, I've already solved the whole thing, the whole tutorial sheet for 2025. And question 4, this one. Question 3, this one right here. So they asked that draw all the structural isomers of the formula, that one there, and indicate those that are chiral and give their systematic names. And actually, there's a question that they brought in sessional. They asked about the chirality. I've just forgotten the year, but they have brought this before. Okay, so let's just go there to the solutions. I'm just trying to explain how I was solving, because the majority of you, despite going through the solution, you still don't understand like how were I determining the chirality. So I'm just going to go through the solutions, okay? Because I've already solved. I don't think I should be writing from scratch. So I'll just go through the solutions, just explain to you how I was reaching to the conclusion that this is chiral. Okay, so let's just go to the solutions for this one. And the full solution is there for you guys who have subscribed on our platforms. Let's go to the solutions. Okay, so um, the first isomer which I drew was that one, and you can draw as many isomers as you can if you think that maybe I forgot one. So the first isomer, when you look at the first carbon, this one here, it is surrounded by hydrogen, two hydrogens. So it is already surrounded by two things which are similar. Now, I want to reach the conclusion early. I need for me to say that the whole structure is not chiral. It means that none of the carbons is surrounded by different things. So the first one is not. Let's go to the second one. So the second carbon, this one right here. When you look at the second carbon, so the second carbon, let's try to analyze, like let's try to see what it was surrounded with. So it was the first thing that it was surrounded by was this one, right? The second thing is this, the whole structure. Then the third thing was the hydrogen here, and the fourth thing was the the chlorine. Have you seen that it is surrounded by different structures? Because look, the first structure, which is this one here, this one, this is methyl, right? And it is just it is not as similar to any of the surrounding structures. And when you look at the other one, which is maybe let's say this one here, that one with two carbons there surrounding the second carbon, carbon 2, it is having two carbons, right? This is ethyl, and this one here is carbon, this is chlorine. So for the fact that there is this carbon that is surrounded by different things, that's what I meant when I say surrounded by um, surrounded by different items. Now I was calling them items because I thought that maybe you would get it. Yeah, so generally I was just calling them as items, but I don't know, you can just say atoms or structures. If maybe they ask you to define it, don't say items. I wrote this so that you can maybe understand. Now surprisingly, none of you understood. I don't know if there is any of you who understood. Yes, now for the fact that in the whole structure, like the whole structure is having one carbon that is surrounded by different things, it means that even the whole structure, we can say that it is chiral. Okay, so if maybe in case the second one didn't in case the second one wasn't chiral, let me just revise. In case the second one wasn't chiral, um, we would have proceeded, we would have come to this one, the third one. But the third one is having hydrogen and hydrogen. These two hydrogens are surrounding the third carbon, right? But they are similar, same atoms. Okay, even this one here, it is having hydrogen and hydrogen. But for the fact that the whole structure is having one carbon that is surrounded by different things, it means that it is chiral. Okay, hope you get it. Yeah, so let's come to the second one, this one. Now for this one, I started from I started with this one, the first carbon, carbon 1. And let me do this. Carbon 1. Carbon 1 is surrounded by hydrogen, chlorine, hydrogen, and this structure. Now, when you check properly, this hydrogen and this hydrogen are same atoms, right? So already we can skip this one. It's not giving us any sign of chirality. We go to the next carbon. The next carbon, which is this one right here. This one. Okay, let me do this. This carbon right here. So this carbon right here, if you can see, let me just circle the carbon. So this carbon is surrounded by four things, right? The first thing is this one, second thing is this one, the third thing is this one, the chlorine, and the fourth thing was this one. Now, I know that chlorine and hydrogen are different things, right? But when you see this and this here, these two structures are the same. Oh no, I mean, let me just analyze again. I mean, this one and this one. Okay, let me just circle again the structure surrounding the carbon. Yeah. So this one is having chlorine. I didn't see the chlorine here. So this and this are different, right? Chlorine and the whole structure. This structure is not methyl. This one is chloromethyl because of this chlorine here. Yeah. So of the four structures surrounding carbon 2, this structure and this structure are the same. This one and this one. These structures are the same, right? Yeah. So these two structures are the same, and they are methyls actually. So for the fact that the carbon is surrounded by four things where two things, this and this, are similar, right? It means that we won't conclude that the structure is chiral. Yeah. So let's go to the third one. This one right here. So the third carbon is surrounded by this, and this whole thing here. Now, of the three things, these hydrogens are similar. Now, of the four items that it is surrounded by, three items are similar. So we still won't reach the conclusion that it is chiral, right? Yeah, be careful when you are observing these. Don't make a mistake that I almost made there. So let's come to this one now. That one. We can call this one. No, wait. No, we are just three, as in the main branch. In the main chain. In the main chain, they are just three. Yeah, so we just have three carbons in the main chain, and none of them is surrounded by different things. So that is why I was saying that it is not chiral. I think I even concluded there. So I hope that you have understood, and this is how you answer these kind of questions. But sometimes maybe they might ask you like, which carbon is chiral? So if they ask you about the carbon in the structure, just focus on the carbon that is surrounded by different things. Okay? Yeah. If maybe they ask you like, in this structure, let me do this. In this structure right here, which carbon is chiral? Just say, you can just say that carbon 2 is chiral because it's the only carbon that is surrounded by different things. So this is how you answer these kinds of questions, and hope that you understand this simple concept. Yeah. And for you guys who have subscribed, just go to the platforms. You're going to find this document. It's there on Google Drive and on A Plus Academy. It is there. You're going to find the solutions for the whole tutorial sheet. I think this is the only thing I forgot to explain in the video. Yeah, because they rarely bring these things, like they have never brought it, especially on the tests, on the exam only once. Yeah, but at the plan that I'll explain, I don't know, I just forgot. And I think it's the only concept that's a little bit important that I forgot to talk about. Yeah, but the majority of the important things I've already taught. For you guys who have watched the videos, I'm sure you can even solve like the whole thing, like the whole document. Yeah. So hope that you understand, and see you in other videos. If I'm going to be uploading more videos, see you in other videos.